Salutations, soldiers! Stolt here, and I will be your drill instructor for this evening. You are all here today for one of two reasons. One, you understand the importance and role of the combat medic and want to learn more about your chosen vocation. Or two, no one wanted to put down their machine guns, and you drew the short straw. Well, congratulations, Rambo! Today you learn how to contribute with more than just your bullets. We will begin this lesson with a quick overview of the mechanics and items involved in saving lives. When a soldier is shot, one of four things will happen. 1. They will staunch the bleeding of their wound through sheer force of will and require minimal medical attention at a later, unspecified, and unimportant date. 2. They will begin to bleed profusely, after which they will shortly fall into a critically wounded state that requires immediate medical attention. To stem the flow of their precious lifeblood onto the uncaring earth, they will need to use the bandage item. You equip it into your utility slot and then click yourself to apply the bandage. Okay. All medics should carry these bandages, as if they are shot, there may not be another medic around to patch them up, and you will most definitely bleed out. The other method of stopping bleeding is the first aid kit. This can only be used on players other than yourself, but is the only true way of healing hit points. The next result of being shot is that you may fall down into the aforementioned critically wounded state and die, if not treated within 20 seconds or if you are shot again. The only way to treat this status is for the medic to equip the trauma kit to his primary slot and then tend to the wounded soldier by clicking on them from a very close distance. All other results failing, there is a chance when shot that you will simply die outright. Neither your god nor your teammates can save you from the encroaching abyss. Each of the tools mentioned thus far must be constructed at one of the many hospitals spread across the towns and maps. Now that you know the basic use of medical tools and the brevity of your existence on this mortal coil, let's discuss when to and when not to treat a wounded comrade. You heard me right. There are scenarios that arise where unless your name is Desmond T. Doss, you will have to leave your squad mates to die. These situations typically are the result of a teammate being down directly in line of enemy fire, with no safe method of revival possible. If your squad provides enough covering fire or kills the target, you may have a chance at reviving them. But generally, it is a Capazzo situation.
It's to my dad. It's got blood on it, man.
If your teammate is downed next to cover, but his body is outside of it, advance on the cover and revive from behind safety. You may have to walk a bit further, but the medic's life is worth more than that of a single soldier. No, that isn't a bloated sense of self-importance talking. If further teammates are bleeding out and the medic doesn't die, running off chasing a reckless person, more lives will be saved as a result. It also doesn't hurt to make sure that the person you are reviving understands that they need to get out of the line of fire immediately after being revived. I make a point every time I pick someone up who is currently standing at the gates of hell that they need to back up and be healed properly the very second they are back on their feet. If they are shot immediately after being picked up, even by a pistol, they will full stop, skip the critically wounded stage, and ascend to the great town hall in the sky. This same concept applies to teammates that are still at the bleeding stage as well. While a good medic is always mobile and not afraid to run into danger when necessary, communicating with your teammates to get out of the line of fire before they receive healing is sometimes necessary. A quick call-out should do the trick. They don't want to die, and if they understand that they're standing there while being healed is going to endanger more than just their own lives, they will usually move toward you. While using your medkit, you are in a very vulnerable state. You are temporarily unable to move and are forced into either a crouched or standing position. This is important because for a second after you finish treating your patient, you will still be standing there playing out the healing animation while they could have already run off and hopped the fence, leaving you to take bullets otherwise meant for them. If you find yourself in a retreating situation and a teammate is bleeding, one quick tap with the first aid kit will staunch the bleeding so that you can continue to fall back without them falling down and causing further embarrassment to your team. A combat medic's retention of mobility is important, so it is never recommended to encumber yourself while on healing duty. If you fall down and have to catch your breath on the way to pick up a comrade, you are directly responsible for their death. Furthermore, while it may not be as exciting as pushing the front line, it is best for the medic to take position toward the back center of the line. This position will minimize the chance of catching random bullets or being the first person to fall down. Unless you have multiple medics with you, staying alive to save others is more important than individual heroics. All of this, however, is not to say that you should not defend yourself. Currently, the revolver is a combat medic's best friend and companion. Logistics may not always be willing to provide you with revolvers and ammo, citing that it is not a priority. That is because they do not yet understand the difference in utility and firepower between a mediocre pistol and a beautiful curvaceous 6-shot revolver. The revolver is also a very useful item for machine gunners, mortar crews, and demolitions experts. So, if logistics refuses to make them for you, quickly mine 33 scrap, refine it into materials, and be the unsung hero of all support roles that require specific use of their primary slot on the front lines. Now that we have covered the base mechanics and techniques in saving lives, you are now officially qualified to join the ranks of your chosen army as a fully fledged combat medic. I will leave you with these timeless words of wisdom passed down from instructor to student from time immemorial. You may be able to save your teammates from your enemies, but you cannot save your teammates from themselves.
Right?
As always, thanks for watching and stick around for more content, and let me know if that voice was too much. I'm still not sure.